Hey guys, I just want to talk to you guys today about non-fungible tokens. I know if anybody has heard of non-fungible tokens or NFTs, this is a new term in the ethos of technology and fintech. So essentially, non-fungible tokens is a digital representation of an item in a game. Say if you're playing say you're playing your game. Say you're playing WoW and you get a special whatever item. Well, that item only has so many of them in the world, right? Someone could technically hack it and create more, right? Well, non-fungible token creates a specific contract that you can look up, and that shows that it was created from that creator or project. So I'm going to look at their representation, what they say. So a non-fungible token is a special type of cryptographic token which represents something unique. Non-fungible tokens are thus not mutually interchangeable. This is a contrast to cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and many network or utility tokens that are fungible in nature. So I'm going to say, so fungible means is that you can interchange a dollar for dollar. So if you're going to purchase, say food items, you go to a store, your items of food are represented by $1, right? $1 buys $1 worth of food. You can technically say some of those items of purchasing food are non-fungible because that one item, say a box of macaroni and cheese. The macaroni and cheese represents value, but say the macaroni and cheese was signed by the owner of the creator of Kraft, right? Well, now that has a representation of a signature, which makes it unique. That is a non-fungible. A non-fungible has a unique value to it that is not a one-to-one value to other items. Say Mona Lisa, the painting. There's only one Mona Lisa. You can't exchange a Mona Lisa for another Mona Lisa. There's only one in the world. That makes it non-fungible. So put that as a digital form is a non-fungible token. Non-fungible token is a digital representation of a signature that's based on a project or individual artist that creates a painting that is digitally signed. You can take a picture of it, but you don't own it. So it's just like if you were to take a picture of the Mona Lisa, you don't own the Mona Lisa. You have a picture that represents what the Mona Lisa is. You can't sell that picture because that is not the painting. Same as a non-fungible token. You can take a picture of it, but you don't own it. If you have a digital wallet that holds non-fungible tokens, NFTs, that is a representation of its ownership is based on your wallet, which you can represent in marketplaces that allows you to show others that you have this item. I'm going to show you guys a little bit more about what that is. So I'm going to show you, there's a marketplace called OpenSea. OpenSea is a digital marketplace that sells NFTs. I will show you guys a little bit of who and what I'm doing. So this game is called Pokepets. Pokepets is a up-and-coming NFT trading card game based on Polkadot Network. I'll go into that at another time of what Polkadot Network is. Probably the most ambitious and most, I would say, the most game-changing blockchain out there. So these are in-game NFT items, just a plethora of everything. So being that this is all digital, at any moment anyone can look at what items I own. They can literally make offers on my items at any time. I can sell the items directly to people, and people just make offers all day. Hundreds of dollars. Sometimes thousands of dollars for items. This item's $1,200. Actually, I've seen that item up to $2,000. And the thing is that it just keeps going up and up and up. So the fact that I own a digital representation of an item, there's only 1,200 of these in the world, and I own 2 of them. So only 1,200 can ever be owned. 515 owners. So once you get to the point that you can make a fractional version of this where I can sell shares of my digital items. So people own a small representation of the item, a share per se. So you go on the OpenSea. So this is the largest NFT marketplace, and it is the largest marketplace. There will be other NFTs based on different blockchains, which they have, which is Ethereum based. This is Ethereum based. There's Polkadot based. There's Binance Chain. There's Hiko, with Huobi Eco Chain, Huobi Eco Chain, and Tron and Poly. There's a bunch of marketplaces that you're going to be probably not familiar. Of course, no one's really familiar, but basically, these are digital representations of paintings. Sometimes they have actual usage. Sometimes they have specific videos to it. But the biggest thing is that it shows that there is an artistic approach to the digital aspect of people's painting. So people can create a painting in real life and then put a digital representation stamp on the internet that represents that painting. So what people have been doing is destroying the original painting to represent a digital version that there's only so many copies available. That artist only releases that particular one or many, so the intrinsic value of that artist becoming more famous evaluates the painting itself digitally, which raises the value of that particular artist in general, which then the art itself raises in price. So that's the factor here, is that digitally artists that are more of the 2D world, essentially 3D world, whatnot, our non-digital world, can turn their art into a digital art piece, which has, I would say, more intrinsic value than a Mona Lisa. A Mona Lisa is a piece of mind, right? I own this art. This is a representation of my stature in life. But where does it stem from? The artist itself, right? So an artist of any kind, this day and age, could be the next Mona Lisa. It could be the next Picasso. You can make the art, put it on the digital platform, and then have it available forever. It can never be tarnished. It can never be deteriorated. It can never be recreated because it was put on the blockchain, which can never be hacked. It's there forever. The representation is in a digital wallet that is always there forever. So you have digital representation of that item that you own. If it's art, if it's an item in a game, if it's pretty much anything. And there's only a certain amount of said art or items in games or whatnot. And then on top of that, there's use cases. Some of these items in games have use cases such as ability to upgrade your person in the game, stronger weapons, becoming able to receive more gold or whatnot, coins in the game that have value that then you can go ahead and purchase other items. So those items are useful to create more items, right? That's another use case. The use case, a lot of these, let's say, Pokepets that just came out, is a spin-off of Pokemon and in a Polkadot ecosystem aspect of NFTs. These NFTs represent that item, and then the non-fungible token gives you airdrops, which is basically they give you free stuff for owning that particular NFT. So being a holder of specific NFTs is allowing you to enter certain things. For instance, I will show you guys the Kings of Leon NFT they just released. So the Kings of Leon will be the first band to release an album as an NFT. So the band's revolutionary tokens will unlock special perks like limited edition vinyl and front row seats to future concerts. So this digital representation allows you access to specific perks having that NFT. That allows you to go into future events at cheaper rates, better price, better pricing, better road, better seating, limited edition vinyls, and it gives you the whole album without any complications with getting the album, individually. This was also something that was released with, who was it? It wasn't Tyga. It was just a rapper just released NFTs. Soulja Boy released NFTs. Logan Paul just released NFTs. The thing is that it's here to stay. We live in the digital world, and everything is a digital representation. The factor is that things can be counterfeited. That's the problem with the real world. Things are counterfeited in a mass. I mean, essentially. The factor is that you can turn your digital, whatever it is, and they I'm not binary, but I want to say binary, but basically just, the real world, turning into a digital aspect and having a representation of that is. So that can go into the future, right? That's voting, that's ownership of home, that's your residence, your land, that's a digital representation that you own the said land. Medical, digital representation of your medical information. Everything is on digital aspect anyway, so why not have a digital aspect that you own that you can present as a representation? So you will have a NFT that says you have Medicare, or you have whatever, dental, you have, whatever it is. If you have your birth certificate, or if you have your ID, you can show your ID without showing your address, and show your age without showing your address. It's a digital proof of where you live, your information, your everything. But you don't have to show all the information because it's put into the blockchain and it's already authenticated. So you don't have to prove to anyone where you live, because that is not what's needed. If the officer asks for a license of where your age and what your name is, that's all they need, right? A digital representation of who you are. On the blockchain has been authenticated in an aspect that you don't have to prove anything beyond that, because you already have that signature set in the blockchain, which is the blockchain in a smart contract. It's it's like the cloud, essentially, for people that don't know. It's the cloud that holds all your information, but it's not a centralized entity. So it's not Microsoft owns your information, or Amazon owns your information. Nobody owns your information. You own your information because you agreed to on the blockchain, which no one owns the blockchain, that you've agreed that this is your information. So what does that hold for the future, right? That holds a lot of digital rights for anyone that is involved in NFT space. Just the next step of this day and age of digital ownership and representation. You don't have to show people, oh, I have this. You can digitally show them. So you can have digital art. And some of this digital art is great. So you can have, a tablet on the wall, essentially, some type of digital, and then it will show your NFT. You can have a digital wallet on your phone. And the thing is that digital currency for the public is already coming out. Digital fiat, F-I-A-T, which is basically money. Digital versions of our currencies already come out. US dollar is working on it. We're behind. We're not telling the public about it. But in China and Japan, they are working on digital currencies for their currency. So the yuan and the yen are both having a digital representation of their money, because they've been using digital money for many years with WeChat and Alipay, and they don't use physical cash. There's just too much. You'd have to use too much physical cash to purchase items, which is just it's just not tangible. It's not necessary. It's overburdened. You'd have to have a wheelbarrow of money to purchase most things. Like in Venezuela, they in the new age will be one of the richest countries in the world. And you can look into it. If anybody watches this video, look into Venezuela. They are doing bad economically, but cryptocurrency is changing how that is, and NFTs will change in a lot of aspects. Voting is definitely something we're working on right now. Is have digital voting. We're creating these DAOs, decentralized autonomous organizations, which allows us to vote. Allows us to vote, putting our money up. We get our money back, but it represents our vote. And doing so, we change a lot of stuff in the blockchain. It might not be so major in comparison to changing, the Declaration of Independence, or the purchase of Louisiana Purchase, or, stuff like that. Like, huge revolutionary aspects of the world can be put on the blockchain. The thing is, it has to be implemented, and those who take the risk will reap the rewards. And that is with non-fungible tokens. That is in cryptocurrency. That is just understanding digital rights, voting, medical, land ownership, just pretty much everything that can be put on the blockchain. And the thing is that it's more truth and less trust. The thing about that is that we don't have to trust so much. The trust is what breaks people, right? You put so much trust into somebody, they step out of that trust. Why? Because of said situational, because of who they are, whatever it is. If you say you're going to do something, that's based on their word. That's a trust. If it's put in contract, that contract can be null and void in some way, right? You can sue them. There's a lawyer. It can be ripped up. It can be no representation. It can be counterfeited. It could be doctored, right? So the representation digitally is a timestamp. There's a timestamp, there's a transaction, there's how much of what was exchanged for this and that to what address, and that's it. That's the end of it. So what I'm trying to say is that it is a new world, and everything is changing behind us, or underneath us. And those who are paying attention to the digital aspect of things, currency, money, financial system, we will reap the benefits. And every person I've talked to about any financial information should know that there is a change happening. It's a revolutionary. Every 100 years is what we call the Renaissance. The Renaissance is what the New Age kids generation changes what happens next. There was the boomers. The boomers had the representation of the last 100 years. This is different. We have a lot going on. Digital aspects of things are changing how we exchange money, how we access information, how we contact people. It's all digital. So why not put our money on the digital aspect? Why not represent anything that has counterfeitability or contracts on a digital aspect? So think about that. Today's topic, NFTs, non-fungible tokens. Peace.